Today we're going to take a look at designing a complete camera system using the IPVM calculator, including PTZ cameras, IR cameras, 180 cameras, floor plans, and much more. Let's get started. Here we have a blank project. Let's start adding cameras to our project. We're going to click the Add Camera button. It's going to place a camera on our map. We can put that wherever we want. You'll see there's actually a preview image from Google Street View over on this window on the right hand side here. This is a generic camera. Whenever you choose your first camera, it's going to be a generic camera. You have the choice to change the resolution, pixels per foot, and other different settings on the camera itself. You can also even get into some more advanced settings if you hit the little gear on the right hand side here to change the focal length and the imager size. You're also at the right hand side going to have some simulated person images. So if you say want a higher pixels per foot, it will automatically adjust the camera as far as its distance, its width, field of view, to give you a simulated person picture that is going to be similar to what the camera will actually be capturing. You can move the camera around on the map, so you can point it, north, south, east, west, however you want, and you'll see that the Street View image will change as you move the camera. You also have the choice to choose from over 6,000 cameras from many manufacturers. From everything from Axis, Vigilon, Hikvision, Mobotics, Sony, Toshiba, etc. So let's quickly pick a Hikvision camera. As soon as you select that, it's going to give us choices up at the top here. We can choose between different styles of cameras. So let's say I want a bullet camera in this case. And let's also say that I want it to have IR. So I'm going to say I need 10 meters of IR. It's going to continue to narrow the list down. Let's just choose any one of these cameras. This is going to give you some initial specs here. So it's a 1.3 megapixel with 30 meters of IR and a varifocal lens with the field of view of 30 degrees to 98 degrees. So we're going to select this camera. That's going to change this camera model, and what you'll see here is this red line that's on the map now represents the IR limits of that camera. So this is that 30-meter distance that IR will be effective. And again, now that we have a specific camera loaded in, we can choose to have different field of views that will fall within the specifications of the camera. So allow us to go as narrow as 30 and as high as 98 degrees for this camera. We can also change the name of the camera. So now we have that named. And let's say we want to make sure no more adjustments are made to that camera. Once we have it in a situation that we like it, we can lock the camera down. So now no changes. You can't accidentally click and drag, make any changes to that camera. If you choose to unlock the camera, you can right click on the camera and you have a small menu here, or you can unlock the camera from the right hand side here. Now let's say we want to jump to a different part of the world. We have the search bar up here where we can enter a new location. As we start to search, it'll narrow the search down. So we can jump to St. Louis, Missouri. Again, we can zoom in. And now let's say we don't necessarily want the Google Earth map. We have the choice of just a standard Google map with the street names on it, or a blank map where we can add a floor plan. So I'm going to go with a blank plan. I'm going to add a floor plan in of an office space that I have here. I'm going to upload that. We have to set the scale of the plan. So I'm going to select one of these doorways and set that to 3 feet. And scale that. You'll see it'll change the size of the plan. Now we can zoom in, and now we can start adding cameras to this floor plan. So I can add a camera here, and let's say I know a specific camera model that I want. Maybe I want to search for a hand-walk camera. I'm going to select that. It's a hallway, so I want a dome camera. I'm going to choose this camera here, a 6083R. Again, has all the specifications, 1080p, 15 meters of IR. So now I have my camera laid out on the floor plan. I can adjust the distance that I want the camera to look. So maybe I just want it to look down that hallway. I can narrow my field of view, so I'm only capturing the hallway, and I'm going to change my scene to a hallway scene. So now this is going to give me a good example of what this camera might see in this hallway. Because this camera also supports a hallway or a corridor format, I can choose that. And now it'll give me even better representation of what the camera might see looking down that hallway, automatically adjusting the field of view. And now it's telling me that when I'm running that camera in 1080p, I'm going to be getting about 53 pixels per foot at the far edge of the distance of that viewing range. You can also get data if you hold your mouse over the field of view cone as well to see what that data might look like. So let's say I want multiple of these cameras. I can right click on any camera and I can hit duplicate. Now it's going to create another one of those cameras. Again, I can look at that, change my scenes. You know, if I have one that's looking at a doorway, I can select that. I can change it back to my wide field of view. And let's say this one is going to be looking at a doorway. I can always see all cameras on my plan by clicking on the All Cameras button. It's going to tell me that camera 3 is selected. I also have my intersection camera, camera 2, etc. What I can also do at this point is if I want to share this project with someone else, I can click this share button and it's going to create a link that I can email or text message to someone, or can export this project. So I can hit export. It's going to give me a few options: snapshots, zip files, some Microsoft formats, as well as a PDF file. We're going to take a look at exporting it as a PowerPoint. It's going to start the export. You'll see here, as the percentage is complete, it's going to say export finished. We're going to open the file up in PowerPoint. And now from here, it's going to give us an overview of our full project. It's going to have camera 2, camera 3, has all those specifications in this report, and our intersection camera as well is going to have all that data on this report. So this is a nice little report that you can send to a customer or include with a proposal, or even hand over to technicians, so now they have a good idea of what the camera is going to be looking at and what the expected field of view or some sample of that might look like. Hopping back into our project, we're going to take a look at the satellite view. We do have the option to rotate our floor plan right here, so we can move that around. That'll obviously throw our cameras off, but all you got to do is drag and drop and move those cameras. And one of the very good features of the floor plans is definitely to right click, lock that floor plan, and now as you're adding more cameras to the floor plan, you aren't going to run into the issue where maybe you move the floor plan around. It's going to tell you that it's locked and you can't move it at that point. We're going to finish this off by taking a look at some of the markup tools that are available in the camera calculator, including the ability to draw circles, square, rectangle shapes, as well as create labels, which could be used for drawing markups or naming buildings, just generally anything that you want to be able to mark up on your map. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, this little intro to the camera calculator. If you have any questions, I'll use a label here. You can feel free to email us at info@ipvm.com. Thanks for your time. Have a good day.